ago, a group of us from this parish went to visit Nourish Babylon, their feeding program run out of Grace Church in Babylon, because we wanted to see what they were doing. We had heard so much about how wonderful the program was, how much dignity it gave to the people who came there to share a meal. And we wanted very much to see if we could learn from them, if we could use some of their experience to learn how to set up a feeding program, how to run one well. And so we went on a Monday because they opened their doors on a Monday. And we went early so that we could see all the preparation in action. And when we got there, there were quite a few people there, each person seeming to know what they were about. People came in bringing in ice. People came in and immediately went to set up the coffee station. There were people there who were putting out the tablecloth, and each table had, you know, live flowers on it. It was really a beautiful atmosphere was being created, you know, jugs of water on the table. In the kitchen area, we saw the people cooking, chopping meals, for the, prepping for the meals. There was a lot of activity, and each person seemed to know what they needed to do and went about doing it joyfully, competently. And as we talked with the person who was sort of managing the program that day, she explained to us that, you know, these are volunteers from the parish as well as friends of the parish who over time, they've been set up for about a year, over time have come to help. And they also found that people who heard about the program who couldn't even be there that day to help would do other things that made it run as smoothly as it did. For example, the AA group that met the evening before actually set up the tables and chairs before they left. They volunteered to do that. So I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm learning, and I notice in the kitchen, amongst older people, was this one teenager, Jilly. And Jilly had set up on a counter this amazing little one-man factory thing going, you know. She had Ziploc bags, and she had big jars of peanut butter and jelly, and she had bread, and she went down the line just slapping together these sandwiches and packing, and I'm watching her, and over maybe less than an hour, she had packaged 60-plus sandwiches. I had to go over and talk to her. I was just so curious about what she was doing and why she was doing it and how she came to be doing it. And Jilly was happy to talk. She told me that a parishioner who volunteered at Nourish Babylon was her neighbor. And one day, talking to her neighbor, she learned about the program and she said, I've got to go and see. I'm coming over to help. And she came over a couple of times and helped, and then this idea came to her that wouldn't it be nice if the guests who came to eat could take home a sandwich for later or maybe for the next day for lunch? And so she went out on her own, contacted the Lions Club and other social organizations, and she got donations until she has so much that she was now offering to give a sum to use if we wanted to start a peanut butter and jelly sandwich ministry. So the teacher in me, I mean, I'm just wanting to find a sticker somewhere or two, you know. I want to give her a sticker for initiative, a sticker for effort, a sticker for accomplishing the work, a sticker for enthusiasm, a sticker for I mean, I would have used up every sticker book just to reward Jilly. But Jilly was not interested in being praised for her work. She was interested in sharing this ministry. She wanted others to do what she found brought her so much joy. In the summer, she would come in early, as she did that day, but when school was on, she made the sandwiches on Sunday evenings and brought them over on a Monday. Nourish Babylon with its volunteers, with Jilly and all the men and women who help out, looks like an overwhelming task to take on. But each person doing their job, doing a job, makes it possible. I think that's what Jesus is saying in the gospel today. The disciples are overwhelmed with the task of discipleship. The way Luke tells the story, Jesus has been talking about, wealth and power. We heard a couple of weeks ago the story of Lazarus, who sat at the gate of the rich man, and when, after their deaths, we saw the overturning of power and wealth. We know that Luke tells us that if we go astray as disciples or lead someone astray, it is better to put a huge stone around our neck and jump into the sea and be drowned. They also had just heard Jesus teaching about forgiveness and saying that as many times as someone hurts you, you must forgive them, even as many as 7 times each day, Luke tells us. They are feeling unworthy, unable to follow Jesus. This discipleship is too much. We need more faith, they said. Give us some more faith so we can do this work you're sending us to do. And Jesus said, you only need a little bit of faith as a mustard seed. You just need to know what is needed in the world. You just need to look around and see what action you can do, and you step out and you do it. Just a little bit of faith can make a big difference, can make the impossible possible. Uproot a mulberry tree, start a feeding program. It can make the absurd real. Throw that tree into the sea. Just a little bit of faith to do God's work, to help other people, to make God's kingdom a reality. And we do it every day, but sometimes we don't think about it. Think of the ways in which you care for other people in your family, at home, at work, here at church. Think of the little things that you do, not looking for reward. That is faithful discipleship. That is faith in action. A couple of months ago, Dr. Lucy Kay was here as one of the presenters at a workshop that we did on caring for the caregivers. And she talked about how difficult it is sometimes to take care each and every day of other people, to take care of other people. And she said, but you just move forward, you just act, you just go. The same way when God called Moses, she said, to lead the people of Israel out of Egypt. And Moses just thought of how huge the task was and was overwhelmed and started to give God excuses, one after the other. And God said, but I am going to be with you. Just go. Just go. Each and every one must hear that message. We do not need to be afraid. In Paul's letter to Timothy, Paul says, God has given us a spirit of courage, of strength, of sound mind. We can think of what we would like to do, and we just step out and do it, because we do not do it alone. We do it with each other. We do it with the Holy Spirit to guide and strengthen us. And we can rip that mulberry bush out of the ground and throw it into the sea. Amen. Amen.